news network. This is your favorite anchor, Pamela Beasley Halbert.
And this is Toby Flenderson.
We've had quite an eventful past 3 years. Starting off with the late John Brown's raid on Harper's Ferry in 1858. The controversial election of good old Abe in 1860. Let's not forget Senator Crittenden with his compromise as one last attempt to prevent the South's secession. Though always with good intentions, us Northerners have really gotten under our Southern brothers' skin. Now, they want to leave this Union permanently. Tonight's episode will focus on a few major events that have occurred since 1858. Stay tuned to find out who our surprise guest is later in the show. Meredith, let's bring things over to you.
Thanks, Pam. I'm standing here at the door to the armory that was raided on Harper's Ferry in 1858. Okay. Many of you remember the infamous John Brown, leader of the raid, hanged only a couple months following the occurrence. For those who don't know, John Brown was an abolitionist who believed that using violence was the only way to end the institution of slavery. His beliefs, though violent, gained him many supporters. On the night of October 16, 1859, Brown and his men entered the town of Harper's Ferry intending to capture the armory and provide slaves with guns.
Brown believed that providing these weapons would inspire a slave insurrection.
Soon after seizing the armory, Brown was cornered in the engine house by Colonel Lee and his troops. Within 36 hours, Lee managed to overtake Brown and his followers. 10 of John Brown's men lost their lives in the struggle, including 2 of his own sons. The remaining men were captured, charged with both treason and murder, and sentenced to death. Before his execution, Brown himself gave a statement that some say was prophetic. We go now to footage from December 2nd, 1858, in which John Brown says his last words. We are here now at John Brown's hanging, and the day is a beautiful one, just wonderful. What a great day to be alive. Anyway, Brown's about to die. Before then, he gets to say his last words. Here we go. I, John Brown, am quite certain that the crimes of guilty lands will never be purged away, but with blood. Wow! That John Brown sure was a nut, huh? And just like he had hoped, his raid seemed to have helped inspire a war. Now we return to our anchor, Pamela, who will cover the presidential election of 1860. Pamela?
This most recent presidential election, which ended only a few months ago, has been very controversial. It proved to be rather exciting with 3 major parties running: the Republican Party, Northern Democrats, and Southern Democrats. The Republican Party opposed the expansion of slavery and nominated Abraham Lincoln, who supported this idea while still opposing abolitionism. On the opposite sides of the spectrum, the Democratic Party split following Harper's Ferry, which sparked fear among those in the South and caused them to believe that all Northerners were raging abolitionists. Furthermore, Southern Democrats thought that if slavery were to be prohibited in the territory, it would only be a matter of time before emancipation was forced upon them. As a result, they supported John C. Breckinridge, Buchanan's vice president. Northern Democrats, meanwhile, were adamant supporters of popular sovereignty. Stephen Douglas best represented their cause. After many debates, Abraham Lincoln just barely won the election and will be inaugurated in March. Here with us now, giving her opinion on the election, is Northern commentator Angela. Angela, what do you think about this whole situation?
Thank you, Pam. Personally, I'm happy that he won the election. I know many feel differently. Abolitionists are on the fence about our soon-to-be president because he vows to ban slavery in territories instead of abolishing slavery completely. Even also, his moderate views appeal to most Republicans, which is how he won his support. Democrats, on the other hand, lost the election because of their disunity.
Yeah. How do you feel about the South Carolina secession?
It caught me off guard, really. That's for sure. I think they're being very childish, like a little child throwing a tantrum. They're willing to compromise, and I'm willing to see the world through a different perspective.
Yes, I agree. Thank you, Angela. That was very insightful. And now, on to our special guest, Abraham Lincoln.
Hey there, folks. We have our soon-to-be president, Abraham Lincoln, with us today. How you doing?
Hello, I'm doing well. Considering the impending war on our shoulders.
Always such a sport. Now, what does it feel like in a war in the presidential election?
Well, my followers believe in my abilities, and hopefully I won't let them down. During my presidency, I hope to reestablish this union while making sure slavery shan't spread into new territories.
Good. How did you feel about other candidates running against you?
Well, the problem with the Democratic Party was that they weren't united, you know?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, you know. Together, Stephen Douglas and John Breckinridge could have had a better chance of getting a Democratic in office if they did not run against each other and split the party. But because the party could not find common ground, well, here I am.
Very good point, Abe. Very good point. Staying united seems like the best plan in any situation.
Huh?
Now, how about that John Bell? He seemed to have some interesting ideas.
The Senator Bell and I agree on a few topics, such as opposition to the expansion of slavery. I'm afraid his ideals are just too moderate to run a country in such harsh times. Frankly, the only good that has come out of the emergence of the Constitutional Union Party was allowing for further dispersion of Southern votes to ensure my presidency.
Interesting. Mr. Lincoln, when did you first realize you finally, have a chance at winning?
Well, I assume it had to be sometime during my famous debate with Stephen Douglas, the Northern Democrat fellow. I'm sure you heard of him. But even then, that Stewart fellow had popularly over me for quite some time. But once interest in him subsided, it was just my time, you know? I guess I really should give props to my Cooper Union speech I did in February earlier this year.
I remember that.
Oh, you were there?
Yeah.
That was pretty powerful, wasn't it?
Inspiration. Huge fan.
I seemed to gain a lot of political acclaim after that.
Well, if it's any consolation, I've always been Team Abe.
I can always count on you, Mary.
Question before we go, Abe. The Southern Democrats are very upset that you won this election. They believe that they have no say in governmental affairs. There's even rumors going around that states are discussing secession. What are your plans, Mr. Lincoln?
Well, I can't get into too much detail yet. I hope you understand. You see, angry Southerners will twist my words any way they can to justify their angst. What I can say is that I will do anything to preserve this nation.
That's good. That's good. Good. And preserve it you will. Well, everybody at home, this is your soon-to-be president letting you know what's what with your favorite marriages. Reporter Pamela, let's bring things back to you, shall we?
Get some music.
It turned off. On December 20th, 1860, South Carolina became the first state to secede from the Union.
Desperate to keep the Union together, political leaders began racking their brains for a solution.
One of these political leaders was a Whig senator from Kentucky named John J. Crittenden.
He suggested that the boundary created by the Missouri Compromise be restored and extended all the way to the Pacific Ocean.
Crittenden's plan ensured that owners of fugitive slaves would be compensated for their loss of property, and slavery would remain in states where it already existed.
It would also be defended in the capital.
This plan garnered opposition from Republicans, including Lincoln, as they were against the expansion of slavery.
The seceding states were also against Crittenden's compromise because they believed that it was too late for Northerners to repair the Union. That's okay.
welcome back.
Events throughout the past few years have really shaken up this country. Wouldn't you agree, Toby?
I'd say. I wouldn't want to be president of this crazy place. Speaking of presidents, what do you think about that Lincoln?
Well, war is inevitable if we ever want our states back. Only way to further this union? By force.
I guess we'll just have to wait and see, huh, folks? Well, like always, this was KNN's Year in Review, your unbiased news network, even though we're all Northern Republicans.
Running against before.
Your name tag fell off, Mr. Almost President.
Oh! Can you do it some more masculine positions?
I'm standing on the very ground on my... Oh, that's the wrong thing! That's his last word.
Before being hung.
Last words.
Haven't died. Like, oh wait, you need to drop your knees. Controversial election of Lincoln, Abraham.
Anchor, Pamela Beasley, Albert, I forgot the word again. 1858. Stay tuned to find out who our surprise guest is later in the show. Veronica, let's bring, that's not your name.
I hope you got that. Fresh friend, this is the Carlton.
No, it's not. He goes like...
He's even higher.
Yeah, he goes like 3, 2, 1.